Hi, my name is Denise Bedoya, and I'd like to talk to you about Seth Perler. I first met Seth around 6 years ago. My son had been diagnosed by a neuropsychologist as being 2E, which means he was both ADHD and gifted. And things went fine in school until he hit middle school. At that time, he had multiple teachers with multiple demands, the binders, the folders, the projects, everything overlapping, and he really couldn't handle it. And previous to that, I had been able to help him, and he was very receptive to that. But when he hit adolescence, all of a sudden he rejected my help, and I was really at my wit's end about what to do. And I was trying to find someone who could coach him. And at that time, when I looked in the phone book, the only person in Boulder, where we live, who was doing anything like that was Seth. Seth came over for a meet and greet with Diego. Diego had already told me he didn't want to have any help. Seth sat down with the three of us, the two of us at that time, and immediately established a rapport with Diego. And when he left, after the meet and greet, Diego said, yeah, I really want to work with him. And that was the beginning of a wonderful relationship. Seth put things in place that helped Diego and supported him and took me out of the picture. The thing about Seth and the reason why he can really help kids who think outside the box is that Seth himself has gone through all this himself. If you read his bio on his website, you'll see he has gone through the outside the box thinking, the multiple school failures, until he found something he was very passionate about. And that one thing was helping kids who also think outside the box. He can really relate to them. He knows what's going on with them academically and emotionally. And he's really helped me a lot because he helps me to understand where Diego's coming from. Seth has really made a difference in our life. He helped Diego navigate through middle school. He set up systems for him. He came over, helped rearrange his room. He took Diego to the grocery store to go shopping for nutritious food. He's advised me on how to react, or not react rather, how to maintain my own peace when I'm dealing with things that I just really don't understand sometimes. I highly recommend Seth. He knows how to work with kids who think outside the box, and he gets results. Diego has felt wonderful about working with him. They're still in contact, albeit long distance, which is the one thing I don't like about Seth, that he moved away from Boulder. I urge you, if you haven't taken advantage of any of his programs, to subscribe to his blog and to avail yourself of his startup program, which is going to be beginning for next semester to help kids jumpstart into the next semester. Maybe get a handle on things that were a problem in the previous semester. All of his programs have been wonderful. He helps parents, he helps kids, and I highly recommend him.
Alright, so hi, I'm Diego. I've been working with Seth since I was 11. When I met Seth, it was during the second semester, in the winter time, during my 6th grade year at Summit, I think it was. I had done really badly in all my other classes. I had like D's and C's, very few B's, and certainly no A's in any of my classes that I remember. I really did not want to have any extra help from anyone. I was seeing a psychologist, and that's about all the help that I really wanted, if you want to call it help. And my mom was helping out, but I really didn't want any help. And when she told me that she had contacted Seth, I was like angry at her because I didn't want help, and I was really against it. And then when he came over, I realized that he's actually a really good person to work with. He's really, I don't know, what would you say?
He's very calm and he's very understanding.
Yeah, he's very calm. He's understanding.
And he's funny too.
Yeah, he's funny. It felt different than like getting help from like a professional or like a shrink or something. And it kind of felt like I was talking to another student almost, because connecting with me on a level that no one else had really done before. Some of the things that I found valuable were his systems of like checking with me to see what homework I have, planning ahead, looking back on assignments that I could do better on, turning in things, advocating. That's a really big skill that I picked up for him, and I still use it. It's really important now in high school because you can't rely on your parents to constantly reach out to your teachers for you. You have to do it yourself more, and that's something that's really important that I got from Seth. There's this thing called the dip, where about I'd say 6 weeks into the semester, 6 maybe 8 weeks into the semester, everything's going well, but then something might happen. You'll ditch one day, which I unfortunately did during high school this year, and all of a sudden, you miss one class and you have to get all your homework in for that. Plus, things start building up, so it starts to get a little hard to turn in everything on time. And so you start to fall behind and your grades start going down, and things get a little, rocky, if you want to say that. So the way Seth calls this, like I said, it's called the dip, and it's expected almost every year because I know it's going to happen at some point, whether it's early in the semester or right at the end, which is kind of what happened to me. Like I felt really good about my grades at the time. I didn't have any D's. I had a few C's. I had mostly B's and A's, and I felt really good about that. And then things started to just like I didn't turn assignments in, especially in like my Spanish class, which I very narrowly passed and got credit for this semester. So during middle school, I honestly wanted to deny the fact that this dip was happening, but once I got into high school, I realized, oh, this is not just me. It's like other students, and if you understand that it's going to happen, it feels a little better because Seth is awesome because he's helped me understand how school works, really understand how I work better in school.
Recommend.
All right, I highly recommend Seth because he's just an overall really awesome person. I highly recommend him to anyone who really thinks outside the box.
Like I do.
Like I do.